Hey, hello everyone. Am I audible now? All right. Yeah. So we are back again with one amazing and interesting session with you all, and the topic is like how to crack international paid internships. And today we have one amazing speaker with us, and she is also from second year. The best thing is she is also from second year. So a lot of things going we are going to know in next 1 hour. Yeah, okay. And I hope like you all are very excited, and to be honest I am also very excited. And okay, so let me introduce myself. Until then we will wait for more peoples, and like I can see only uh, 2 to 3 peoples now. And let waits 1 or 2 minutes more, and so that more people can join. So yeah, I am Ayan Gupta. I am from Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, and I am also a second year student from Sri Shankaracharya Technical Campus, and I am organizer of Coders Evoke, and I am also the organizer of Azure community of Durg region. That's all about me. And yeah, we are up to proceed this session. So I would like to invite our talented speaker with us. Uh, Hello, Ankita.
Hi
Yeah,
there, everyone. Hi, Ayan. How are you doing?
yeah, I'm also doing great, and hope like they all are also doing great. And yeah, like if you have any doubts related, like during the session, if you face like if you are having any doubts related to the opportunities and anything you want to ask from Ankita, you can just comment it down on the chats. So like she will be more than happy to answer you. And yeah, we can start now. And hoping to be an amazing like coming 45 minute is going to be very amazing. So yeah, we can start now, Ankita.
Thank you so much for having me, team. And hi there, everyone who's out there. There was a time, probably a year ago, when I was sitting out there going through a lot of speaker sessions like this. But I never came across something which told me about how I could go abroad or work with international teams or clients and then ultimately crack an internship. Um, the most common norm that a lot of people in India think, if you have to go abroad, there are a lot of issues. If you are someone who is from a third tier college, no, that's something that's not happening for you because you don't get opportunities inside your campus, so definitely it's not happening. But I would say in this 21st century where we have communities evolving, we have social media at par and stretch, there's no way you cannot get to know about opportunities like this. I would be very honest. I came to know about this opportunity through one of my connections at LinkedIn. So right now, I'm working as a software engineer, part time though, with the German government. And the institution that made it possible for me to go there is DPS, that's Digital Product School. So we've had a lot of Indians working with DPS and with such international teams or organizations like BMW, Audi, Meta, and even the government organizations abroad. Um, the most important thing that probably I could do is I'll share my screen, I'll have some sticky notes in and across that will help you figure out your perfect roadmap, and then we could begin. So, just a confirmation when my screen is visible, do let me know about the same. I hope it's visible. I don't have an access to the chats right now, so if anyone could just confirm if it's visible or not. I assume it should be visible by far. So, yep. Thanks a lot for the confirmation, team. Well, the most important thing, if you are planning for any international internship or you're trying to crack an international internship, is a good amount of research that you do. So, I would say if you have to start with a roadmap, research is the first thing that you should do. And how do you go about doing researches? The best skill that probably anyone on earth could acquire is learning effective Google searching. So if you go out on the web, on any search engine, just keep searching for the right keywords and you'll get it. For, say, international internships, free international internships, paid international stipend internships, or maybe anything that you go ahead with. Now, I mentioned about three different things right now. That's what you have to focus when you do a research. The first thing is when you search for international internships, you'll come across thousands of offers. But authenticating if that's a correct source, authenticating that you won't be forged or it's not something malicious, you need to go through every single person who has been associated with that organization who's offering that internship. And how do you do that? Go across, be on social media, figure out, search for people who have been a part of that organization and get to know more about their experience. The second thing is paid internship. Yes, you can do an internship abroad by paying a tuition fee. Now, what I mean is, yes, you would do an internship, they would give you a stipend, but because you're doing an internship there, as you pay a tuition fee, there are a lot of countries who have a lot of internship opportunities where you do have to pay for your internship. You might get a stipend, but you also need to pay to be a part of that internship. You need to be aware of such things because when you talk about international internships and that to where you have to go and pay for it, it's like it's somewhere around 8,000, $9,000 or euros, and that's a huge amount of money. So, what would be the most ideal situation for any Indian student at this moment, keeping currency, the value of the internship, as well as what you earn from the internship? Because I'm not someone who agrees to work for free by giving all that I have, like 40 hours of dedicated work a week without being paid. That's something someone is utilizing it for no use, and that's what I wouldn't promote. So the best thing you all could do is go ahead and search for no tuition fee internships where you don't pay something. Whatever work you do, though it's less, you get a stipend out of it. So when you do a research, make sure you take care of all these three parameters. This is where people go wrong. Now, what's the correct time to do a research? Probably the correct time you do this research is once you appear for, probably, or like when you're just entering into engineering. That's the first semester, the first 2 3 months. I would suggest everyone to go ahead and explore anything that they can during those 2 3 months, because that's really important. That's a very crucial stage. We actually tend to decide what would be your next roadmap for one particular year. That's where you start deciding how would you divide your time, and that's where you also start deciding which opportunities you could take into. Don't run behind money when you see international internships. Run behind what value they will put on your resume as well as what experience you'll gain from it. It's very important to look into that aspect. The best time I would suggest for anyone out here, like, it's never too late. There are some internships who, where it's necessary that you need to be a third year student or you need to be in your final year, or you also need to, like, there need to be minimum 6 years after you complete this, you get back to study. So there are a lot of clauses, but for internships, like, or programs like digital product school where I am right now, the best timing would be somewhere around the end of your second year and the whole of your I'm sorry, like, not end of the second year, probably end of the second semester and the whole of the second year that you have in hand. So that you try applying for those things when you're at the end of your first year and you actually get those opportunities at the beginning or at the middle of your second year. And by the end of your second year, you're already done with this internship. We are in India, and I would suggest all of you to, based on our pattern and our college education system, we should plan out which tenure is also important. For, say, you go for a spring internship, you go for a summer internship, and you go for a winter internship. There's a hell and heaven difference in all these three. There might be less competition if you go for a spring and a winter internship, but the major issue that arises is your colleges would not give you permits for like 3 to 4 months being absent altogether. And that's not possible. It'll either be like you losing a semester or probably you having to, not all opportunities are remote. So you have to be very precautious of also about the time of the internship that you're looking for. The third thing that you all should keep in mind probably would be what is I've seen a lot of people in the past 2 3 months after I posted about my internship and my experience all across, people asking me, hey, could you share your resume, what are the necessary skills I need to apply for. I'll be very honest, when I was in my interview, I saw people with just basic HTML. And when I'm saying basic, I'm not even saying they are building full stack web applications, like a front end and a back end with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, and stuff like that. It's just basic front end that they know when they sit in the interview, because they're dedicated, and whatever they do, they know what they're doing. For say they cross the interview round, when they come out of the internship, they're already people who are dedicated MERN developers or mean developers, or any particular stuff. So there's nothing as such, like you have to know this before applying. Every time you apply for an internship, there's a particular set of criteria that are listed, like basic qualifications for say this and this is something you should be aware of. And when they write this and this is something you should be aware of, make sure your resume has those things listed so that you can cross over the resume round. The most important or crucial thing about international internships is you get tons of applications across the globe. You're not the only international student who's applying. I was in a cohort where I had 3,000 international applicants with me, and then there were only 20 people who were to be selected. So kindly imagine what would be the scenario. Your resume needs to showcase or have those keywords that are out there on the particular internship provider's website or platform that lists those keywords, because that's what it's you all know that gone are those days where people handpickly pick up your resumes and go through it. It's very rare. First it goes through resume feeders and then someone goes through it. So to cross that resume feeder round, you have to have those particular things listed. Coming to what is the most ideal stack, I wouldn't say there's any ideal stack, because when I entered my internship, I was someone who was very confident about me being a perfect front end engineer. I was not great with back end, but I said yes, I've made MERN stack applications, I can go with it. That's how I entered. Now when there are hardly 20 to 20 days at max left for me to complete this internship, I already know what is DevOps. I already know what's Docker. I already know how do I make blockchain applications, how do I make decentralized applications. And I got to know so much about data, about AI, about ML, how people think, because that's the best part about a cross-functional team. We are talking about international internships here. So why should someone even focus, or why do you even look for international internships? Cross functional teams is the answer. It's not money. I'm telling you, it's not the dollar or the euro conversion money. It's the cross functional team that you get to work with. You get to learn from people across the globe who have an expertise in one particular region. In a cross functional team, whenever there's a bottleneck situation, you get a chance to actually show your best, to learn something new. And that's the reason international internships are valued a lot, because that is where you get to expand your skill set a lot. Now, when I'm talking so much about how to get into it, I'll also tell you about what to do exactly after it. You see, you have to be in a situation when you're preparing for an international internship. It's quite different from internships in India. I've done internships in India with the same role as well as I've done it abroad, and I can see the difference. The difference is here, when you're hired, putting a particular tech stack and interview procedure in mind, it's not the same out there. You don't work just for that tech stack. You don't work just for that particular feature which you're hired for. You have to be in a cross functional team. If for say your designer is absent in a team for a particular reason, you have to meet the deadline, so you have to go ahead and start doing designing. This is where also comes, how do interview experiences at international internships be like. So if you're preparing for an interview experience, I have mostly seen interview experiences differ from candidate to candidate. If there's someone who has a stellar resume, they go with one short interview and they are gone. If there are also interviews for the same role where after the resume round you have a home task where within 24 hours or 48 hours you have to build something, showcase it. If you nail it, you go ahead to the mock interview round. So things change. There's nothing fixed when it comes to international internships, because every organization changes their pattern very frequently. So keep an eye on all these things when you're doing your research. that's how you'll come to get to know more about interview experiences. And the best thing about interview experience would be someone who has come from that internship background from the same company is the person who can guide you the best through this. The next thing that probably you all could do while you're preparing for these internships is try to get to know more about different dev tools that you can use. For say right now I'm using a tool called Miro. I got to know about Miro probably in October 2021 when I was doing an internship in India. That's when I used it for making flow charts and UML diagrams, and just to make a funnel of how I would go about a particular structure. When I came across to DPS, becoming a software engineer intern, it was like, okay, now what is this? Miro is my life. It's everything. You have to show what you're doing. You have to portray your ideas. You have to write story maps. You have to do a hell lot of things in tools like this. Not just Miro. Stuff like Jira are pretty common. There are, we know about tools like Figma where you design, but how to take a design into a usability test, doing user tests, and then going ahead, there's a lot more to it. So try searching or making your own sort of research tool list of various dev tools you all can use for internships. And I assure you, this research won't go bad when you do it. You will get experience of how after internship, or during internship, you'll work with those tools, as well as you'll have content to write on blogs. Now, when I'm talking about blogs or research papers, it's very important as well if you're applying for an international internship, because that's a written format that showcases what is your thought of thinking or what is your conceptualization to a particular article or a particular topic. So make sure if you're applying for something that's international, go for this. When I'm talking about research, international internships are application based. They're also research based. I'm not someone who has applied for research based internships, or if there's someone who is looking for a research based international internship roadmap here, it's particularly different, because then to be there you have to do a lot more or something different. So probably you could request Iron to have someone who has cracked an international internship in terms of research in some research area. Maybe the Coders Evoke team will bring another person quite soon in that area who can give you a brainstorming session on that. But if you're someone who's looking for probably an interaction design like a UI UX design internship, or someone who's looking for a software engineering internship internationally, this is a session that would probably help you, because that's all that I've earned and learned from my experience. Probably these particular things like pre-work, during work, and after work is something you should always keep in mind. And there also comes another thing: how much experience is required to do or go for an international internship. um, I would say a zero experience is definitely okay. You can start from zero, but keep in mind, a zero experience might not be up to that level when you have so many competitors. I'm not demotivating anyone. I'm just trying to explain where there are 3,000, 4,000 applicants, not just from your country, but from people across the globe. And when I'm saying about people across the globe, I'll make it clear they are not just undergraduate people or PhD holders or master holders. They are people who are having a career switch as well. So there, an age even doesn't matter. I've worked with someone who is 52 years of age who's had a career switch in my team right now. So I'm like, anything can happen in an international team, an international group of interns. So try making yourself the best, but it's not like I'll take 6 months and then I'll apply. Acha, I cannot crack this, it's done, I could not, I tried my best, I could not. That's not how it happens. Keep trying with whatever you have, because you'll at least learn how it happens in that organization and be prepared for the next round. The one thing you should do in any international internship is don't ever get demotivated if you don't get selected, because demotivation is like a road to failure. I'll be very honest. If you do that, it's like it's a dead and gone case for everyone. Try as many times you can if you think it's worth it. If you think that organization is worth it, if you think that this experience is going to make me different, keep applying for that particular organization over and over again, and you'll definitely crack into it. I think that would be all that I would like to share with you all. If you have any particular ideas, or if you want to hear in short how my story went, like how I applied, how I went, because this was a roadmap that I shared with you that you could follow. Or any other questions you have for me, feel free to ask that. I'll probably take down my screen sharing, and y'all can start asking your questions or any other doubts you have. I'll be happy to answer them. Whoop. I see a lot of questions out here. Probably Ayan or Rohit could help me with these questions just to make sure that I'm not missing anyone. First of all, yes, definitely. Good evening, everyone. Dwarkesh, was my voice not audible throughout the session properly? Like, I'm not audible, right? Like, it was just during the beginning that I was not audible. Um, to answer Soumya's question, I would say, hi Soumya. Definitely, I am from the second year. Like the first week of Feb was when I gave my third semester exams. My results are not out, so officially I'm not a fourth semester student as well. I got into this international internship at the end of my second year, basically. So yes. I think I have another question from Soumya. I don't have that much experience. Can I get into these types of internships as I'm also from third tier college? The best part about international internships is they don't see where you come from, they don't see what's your age, they don't see who you are. All they see is what you can provide, what you can bring with you, what experiences you can bring with you that can help a team develop. And I'm saying this, please try to understand. You and your skills is what defines you out there. It's not your college tag. It's not your semester marks that define you there. It's all about how much you've done, how much experience you've gained, and how much you can give back to the industry is important. And that's what I have learned from my whole experience throughout applying to all these different tracks. So there have been so many people who have been saying me hi. So hi. दीदी अपने कॉलेज से है क्या? Pursoon, I'm not sure which college you're from, but just to make everyone clear, I'm from ITER, SOA University, that's in Bhubaneswar. Just to make it more clear, it's Institute of Technical Education and Research. So just a full form, because I think a lot of people don't even understand like ITR. You wouldn't have heard of it. So that's the reason I just gave up a whole big fat tag about it. What are the things I can add in my resume? Soumya, you, as I mentioned, depending on where you're applying or which institution you're applying to, cater your resume accordingly. Make sure if it's an international internship, you should have open sourcing experience or at least one or two hackathon experiences. They are not a must, they are a plus for you, because if you they will take you to work with an international team of people from so many countries. They'll definitely want to have how would I say it? They'll definitely want to have someone who has had experiences with such teams. Hackathons add a lot to your resumes and your interview processes. I assure you. Like in my first year, I did about 37 hackathons, and that's when you come into rapid prototyping and rapid coding round, and that's what people need: efficiency, effectiveness. So any means that can show you're the best, go ahead, put it in the resume. I've seen people having zero to no experience creating amazing resumes and getting into it. So that's all about how smart you could be. But definitely make sure that when you're making a resume for any particular organization, you make sure whatever the qualifications they are listing, you also have those same keywords listed onto your resume or CV. That's important. Cover letters is something a lot of people also ask for. Cover letter is all about you. Try being very honest with your cover letters, because an amazing cover letter, you never know, can actually take you right into the final mock interview round as well. Everything is possible, you see. Um, are you also from a third tier college? Yes. I think that's what my seniors, my batchmates, and I actually knew about. My college falls into a second or a third tier college, or in between a second or a third tier college. So yes, I am. Um, I think there aren't much questions. How do you prepare for the technical round, Tejas? Yes, that's a very good question. For a technical round, usually I have applied for like two different international internships. For both of the technical rounds, what happened was in your resume, you select a particular project, you write a list of the projects you've worked on. So, what they do is in the technical round, when I entered, they were like, pick up any one particular project from your resume that you think actually stands out and can make a difference to the society. They were very practical when they were talking about it. So I worked on like various sort of projects, but I did mention about a project based on the stakeholders this organization was going to give me. You have to be very active when they ask you questions. When I'm saying I thought about stakeholders and answered or picked up a project, their stakeholders were government organizations. So if I've done anything related to any government api, or build up anything for a local municipal corporation based project or something, that solves a greater country oriented problem, so try picking up something like that. Or for say if their stakeholder is an organization like SAP or BMW. So if it's something like BMW, you definitely have to work with something that's IoT based, or something that has to deal with accident security or this or that. So try going through what were the previous projects or what were the quarterly reports those organizations gave in the past years. Being updated on social media can give you the answer of what sort of a project can take you through the technical round. Selecting a project is a very important thing. You have to, that project is what they'll ask you questions upon. Technical questions, there may be instances where they'll ask you, open the GitHub code, we want to see, try explaining why did you do it this way, what else could you do to make it better, you know a lot more. It's an open-ended thing, you'd never know what's going to be there. Another important thing that I noticed in international internships or during international interviews is they ask you about how do you try to learn a newer concept. Be prepared with such questions. Be prepared with questions like, uh, you know, if you're ever stuck into a problem, how do you get through it? The best part is all of you are associated with technical communities. The biggest help in India that technical communities are providing right now is guidance, mentoring sessions, as well as when you're stuck, the Ask Me Help section in every Discord server of every community that you find is one of the best places where you could actually ask about the queries you have. They won't be giving you, you have to make one particular mechanism. They won't be making the whole architecture and giving it to you. But when you get stuck, you have certain dependency issues. When you have, something you are new to something, you want to learn something. There are people who will guide you inside the community. You learn, and you'll go ahead. So that's something they would like to know. They do ask. I was asked about it. The most important thing that you should keep in mind is try being as cross functional as possible. For say, be a jack of all trades if you can, and try to master one. Have a bit of everything. You should. It's not like I'm a hard code MERN developer. I will never work with cloud. I'll never work with this. I'll never work with ML. I'll never work with that. Don't be picky when you're in your first and second year. Try exploring as much as you can, because the more you explore, the better you'll become. That's what they look for. Like, how open are you to learning something new? Because I've had sessions where it's not just about working for 40 hours a week, it's also about they giving you amazing mentoring and training sessions. So that's where you get to learn a lot and know, like, okay, this is another tech stack I could go for. I know a bit about this. What if I make a project on this and go in some other field? Be as open as possible, be as cross functional as possible. Try to put everything that you have in the resume but in one page, is one thing you could do. How should one move for CP? Rishabh, I am not a CP person, to be honest. I work entirely for applications. I do DS and Algo only for interviews. I'm being honest. I only practice DS and Algo for interviews, and I do one question a day from one platform. And every Saturday or Sunday, it's like either a bi weekly lead code contest or a weekly lead code contest that I go ahead, appear, and get points. So if you'll ask me about CP, I'm someone who cannot answer you right now. Um, if you are talking about how CP is related to international internships, by default CP is about analytical thinking. I'll be honest. So I had with me engineers in this project where a set of engineers were working on something that was entirely on maps, graphs, where you have to figure out in which particular place of the city should you place petrol pumps or electric power generating stations. How easy would it be? So that's where CP thinking comes in. But basically, in interviews, I was not asked about CV questions. Maybe if there's a project that requires CP, you'll definitely be asked about certain analytical questions. So, yes. Can Gopi Krishnan Mahato has a question. Can we all get in touch? I mean, any Discord groups, so that any updates about internships and all? There are tons of groups, tons of Discord servers, and Coders of Work is another amazing community. They keep texting about a lot of things. You could go ahead, be on the server, check out stuff. You could also go for like different newsletters by different organizations, SaaS organizations per se, any other organizations. And the most important thing I forgot mentioning is it's not just about international internships with different colleges or programs that are offered. You could also go abroad and work for an organization. By default, yes. If you're in India, you cannot go to places like America or Canada for companies like big fat MNCs. You can't do that because there are restrictions from area or geographical region background thing. But you can go for startups. You can go for SaaS organizations by figuring out who their HR is on LinkedIn or any other social platform, and then reaching out to their HR, sending emails. That's possible. I've done that. I got an internship that way as well in my past, sending my resume and stuff to an HR. She liked it. She had interview rounds. I cracked it, and I was in. So that's also a possibility that happens a lot. You can go for it, but make sure that's a good organization. They won't, make you work like a mule, and then they won't treat you well. So make sure of that one thing. Ankita, can we see your resume for a good example? Shweta, I'm not sure if my resume is a perfect resume, but probably I can show it to you before the session ends. For sure, I'll do that. Just remind me. Is DSA required? Soumya, DSA is very important. If you're in India and you have to crack interview rounds, not just in India, anywhere across the globe, maybe you can say that I am not very good at DSA. I don't want to get into CP. DSA is important. It's a very controversial question, but DSA is important. I'll tell you why it's important. I recently gave an interview, like a step internship interview at Google, and I realized how important DSA is. So I went through efficiently in the first two rounds, and in the last round I did get a big fat algorithmic question that I could not crack, and that's the reason I could not make it into it. So DSA is important. Someday or the other, काम में आएगा. If not for an interview, as I said, it's all about analytical skills. Someday or the other, in some or the other project, you'll get a use of it. So maybe you cannot take CP into like करना ही competitive में घुसना है DSA DSAL को तो करके रखो, because that's needed. That's a bare minimum. For international internships, as I said, from organization to organization, it differs. For international internships, the most important thing is your resume. That's the first point of contact. Based on your resume, future interview rounds are decided. Can you suggest some good internships for first year students? Shweta, if you're a first year student, nobody would hire you for, say, from the very beginning, paying you. So you have to build up your portfolio and platform by start working for free for 1 or 2 month programs, start working for communities, building projects, so that you have something on your GitHub, you have something on your resume, experiences to show. And after that, like that's what you can do in your first semester. 1 or 2 things you can do, like 1 or 2 days, 1 or 2 month internships. Then in your second semester, I would suggest, if you want to do internships in India as well, you have a lot of SaaS organizations and startups, with amazing dev support and community. Go ahead, enter their Discord channels, reach out to their official members, try asking, do you have a vacancy? Can I apply? Go through, check in LinkedIn jobs, be frequent with your research and search. It should be a daily process for you, trying to search, trying to learn, trying to understand, okay, is there a vacancy? Once you try doing research, like I right now know which month of the year, which opportunities from which organization will come up, and accordingly I prepare myself. So if you have one particular organization you actually want to get into, or one particular internship you actually want to get into, uh, keep in mind what are the requirements, how much experience they require or is appreciated there, and try learning and going accordingly, or try catering your resume accordingly. At the end, these are all assumptions. It works for someone, it doesn't work for someone. From person to person, things differ. But what we tell, or what usually speakers say, is based on the most approximate results. So if you want to go for a good internship in first year, first of all try doing something that gives you experience. You get to know how handy the industry is, what actually works here, how much can you charge. Freelancing is another good thing, but then reputation is important. Everywhere you go, reputation is important. Start building it. You have so many communities who build up websites. You have so many college clubs who, try making projects. Build up projects, show it, get into it. In first year you can definitely do it. And if you really want to know about, exact particular stuff, like some certain things that you could apply, feel free to reach me out on Discord. But anyone who is reaching me out in any particular platform like LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord, or anywhere, mind you, I work on both Indian and international schedules, so I open my socials once a day. Anywhere you text me personally, I'll definitely answer you. Might be late, but I'll definitely answer you. Which language you should choose for competitive coding like CP? Rishabh, um, see, I had a very amazing internship interview preparation session where there was a girl in my team of like 40 girls who were there. We were having our training session before the interview, or like before the interview for the internship. And she asked, I'm a Python coder. I'll use libraries. Is it okay? She's like, the person who was answering was out there saying, okay, fine. Then I'll put those many questions for you so that you're equivalent to it. I'm not degrading any language. You can choose any language you feel like. Every language has a pro and a con. I personally use Java. All of my seniors suggested me to go for Python because at the end it will help you for like going for machine learning, data science, and whatnot. And then there were another set of people who, like my professors, who told me go for C++, C. Any language that you think you are good at, or something that catches your attention, there'll definitely be something or another that will catch your attention. Try going for it. Anything you're comfortable with, try going for it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to learn every language for some or the other purpose, a bit and piece of everything. So go ahead, start from anywhere. In CP, basically, I've had a word. I'll just share a short experience with you. I went for Kickstart Women's Round. I like cleared the first two questions like within a flash of seconds, and in the third question, when I was there, I was like, "Why is my correct Java code not running? It's running on my IDE. It's not." Like the code editor is not accepting it on the platform. So I was like, okay. Then I tried changing it into C++, and it took it. Anything can happen anywhere, so there's no such particular thing. From challenges to challenges, from things to things, it changes. You choose your preferences. Ultimately, that's the reason in anything you do, research is important. First semester is something everyone should spend researching and learning, or figuring out what's the best pick for you, probably. Hi, Ayan. I think there are a lot of questions out here.
Yeah, I can see a lot of questions.
Probably I'll share my Linktree handle with you, and you can share it across with these people.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
already shared your LinkedIn. So
Thank you.
if you want, you can share your link tree also. I can share it.
Sure. I have amazing set of people on LinkedIn as my connections. I don't have Twitter connections like you for sure, so I'll definitely share my Twitter handle here. Just kidding. Just to ease down the situation a bit because there were so many amazing questions. Gopi Krishnan Mahato, I earlier did an internship from IIT, BHU or BBS. Please be sure. After the dot 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 means a lot, but any IIT has awesome professors who help you out. My dear is lucky, but I want some international internship. Problem is, I'm not getting the flow. How to get to it? Gopi Krishnan, what you could do is go to Google right now, search out there international internships with no tuition fee. You'll get a list. If not that, go on LinkedIn, search for budding SaaS organizations, as I said. go through, reach out HRs, reach out working officials, what's necessary, when do you have recruitments and stuff, apply, prepare, you'll definitely get a chance and definitely get into it. So, which specialization are you working on? Prasoon, I am a MERN stack developer. I love web. There's a story why I love web. When I was in my first semester, I did Microsoft's Virtual Experience Program. That's another international sort of experience program that Microsoft has, that they do, where you'll get to learn about different tech stacks, different or things going on in and across the world, technologies. So it's for free, it's available for anyone. You don't have to appear for any interview round or so. You can go there, take up this whole experience program, see out. So that's where I found a fascination to scrollable websites using 3JS and stuff like that. So that's the day I decided, no, I have to build something like this before I graduate. And that's how I came into, designing and web development and stuff like that. So that's my area of specialization. How can we find international internships? Yes, Soumya, I probably tried answering this once or twice throughout the session. You can again take a note of it, those who missed it. The best thing is any internship, international, Indian, or anywhere that you're trying to apply for, try reading internship blogs. You'll get a lot to know about where are the opportunities and which tenure it comes. Try searching in Google with these particular keywords, international internship with no tuition fee. I'm particularly suggesting you all to go for no tuition international internships because for an Indian family, if you're here and your parents are paying, if you're already in a second and third year college and your parents are already paying for high tech fees right now, for sending you to an internship, again they have to pay or bear the cost of like $9,000 or 8,000 euros or something of that sort. Then your expenses of flying and coming are different. An international internship is a budgetary internship. Then that's what it becomes. Is it, then you'll start thinking, is it really worth it? Is it worth the money I spend to do or get there? So if you're getting paid that much in return, thumbs up. I only know Pinterest paying people $9,000, like paying interns $9,000. I'm not aware of any other organization doing that. So maybe there are people who are doing it. How do I improve my communication skill or public speaking? Jyoti, that's a very good question that you asked. Communication is an amazing thing that you pointed out. A lot of people get rejected in international internships due to communications, and a lot of people with bad communication also make it because they have amazing tech stack. So either khopdi leke aao udhar or bring the amazing set of talents that you have, the talent ka pitara or magic box that you have with yourself. It'll be amazing. People will look for either of it. But yes, coming to your question, how do you improve? I had a friend of mine who's an amazing coder, who's very popular in all communities. He's won a number of hackathons and stuff like that as well. But he's someone who's very shy. He never comes up to the mass crowd and speaks or says anything. That's the reason he lost an internship opportunity at a very good organization. I'll tell you how you could improve. That's something I suggest my friends who ask me the same question. Try to, how do I say? Try to speak to yourself in front of the mirror is something everyone says, but I would say try watching and listening to people conversing in English, because it's better rather than reading or seeing. You start hearing. This works better. I think if there's a biology or biomedical student here, they can explain this. Probably we don't have someone, but yes, this works better. Try hearing, try analyzing. If you like watching Netflix movies, turn off the English captions that come here, start watching. I don't watch movies, I don't have time. I wish I could watch movies, but if there's someone who is a dedicated movie watcher, go ahead, go with it. It's amazing, you can do that. Another thing you could improve communication is, you have these, try being a part of any of your college clubs. Every college has clubs. Try being a part of those. Try saying, like, can we have a voice hour or a podcast session where I come and host something, or I come and speak something, or get in touch with friends, so that the first thing, if someone feels you want to improve your communication, is you don't have confidence in yourself that your communication can make you stand out. You're afraid people will make fun of you or laugh at you for your communication. So to get that idea out of your brain, the best thing is come across people and start speaking out loud. That's the best way you can get rid of the fear. Now, coming to improvement is, as I mentioned, try hearing, try reading, try listening, try reading a lot of blogs. I would say technical blogs are amazing. You get to learn, you get to read, you get to understand grammar. Try using less of Grammarly, another good way to learn, because you usually make communication errors when you try converting something, writing it into a feeder like that, that gives you, predetermined errors and answers to those errors. That's all I have to say. Any other questions any of you have? Whoop, we finally made it through the huge question list. I'm really excited and happy to see that people were eager to ask. I
Yeah,
personally
lot of
have taken like 80 independent calls after my internship, people asking me, how did you crack it? How did you go ahead? So, this was another amazing lot of people I met. Hi, Rohit, good to see you.
yeah, Ankita. Actually, I have one question. Like, I just wanted to know your opinion about remote work. Like, are you enjoying that?
I had an option to go to Germany and work directly from the office. Probably in the Coders Evoke channel today, in the chit chat channel or something like that, I'll share images of my office. Maybe that will make all of you jealous. I even wanted to go there. But there are three things about remote and going out somewhere and working. First, visa issues. Horrible visa issues, I'm telling you. Because of COVID, visa issues have increased a lot. Maybe you'll get a work visa, maybe you'll get a student studying visa. Getting an internship visa is very difficult, especially in European countries. You have to go on travel visas. I'll tell you another issue of travel visas. You take a travel visa and go. You cannot stay in places meant for international students at lower cost. You cannot stay at places for, hyperspace innovation labs or spaces like that at lower costs. You have to rent a hotel or a house and stay there because you're a traveler. You're not a student. Nobody is defining that you're a student. So going abroad has these certain disadvantages, but you miss a lot of experience that you would gain on ground, talking to people, watching, moving around and roaming around is not like, going and जाके chill मारना उधर. That won't happen. I give you in writing. That won't happen. You enter an internship, it's like, how do I manage my college work and internship work is the first thing that will hit your brain. So I think that meme went viral a lot. Internship तो लग गया, अब क्या करें, अब संभल नहीं रहा है. So that's something that will happen. So if you ask me remotely, my college did not allow me or give me a leave of 3 months. For me, remote internship was a bliss. The option for having my internship remotely was a bliss. Me staying here, my class is going on one laptop, my internship work going on the other, and I'm working. Done, complete. I'm happy. I did it. I earned enough. I gained enough. I did everything that I could. I made the
Yeah,
most out of a
management is
remote
required.
internship.
Yeah,
Based on your situation and your family scenario, I am
yeah,
a girl. If I go and tell my parents, "मेरे को जाना है बाहर," they'll be the first thing my mom would tell me like, all alone, miles apart. No, not happening. Not happening. So there are
yeah.
situations like that that do come up. But try your level best if you get a chance to go abroad, because that's where you'll gain a lot of other experiences of meeting and greeting with people, not virtually, live out there. That's a different skill that you'll learn. That will make you more work ready. Anything else, Aryan, you have for me?
No, 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 I got to know. You have answered my question. Yeah, we have one more question from Spurs. Yes, suggest some good internships to look for.
Spash, if you're someone who is from a anyone out here who's from a UI UX background, you definitely don't get internship opportunities in India itself in first and second year. Try going for digital product school um, in Munich, because that's where you actually try to get hands-on experience. Those people do a hell lot of crazy shit. If you're someone who is from a software engineering AI/ML background, try going for, if not research internships at universities and other places, try going for things like digital product school. Try going for SaaS organizations. Like, I'm continuously saying SaaS organizations. I hope people out here understand what is a SaaS organization. A SaaS organization is basically any particular company who's providing you a tool to make your work easier. uh, the most simplest way I could put it up into. So try going for those organizations. There are a lot of budding organizations you could apply for who have branches abroad and in India. Another amazing thing that happens in India is Mlh Fellowship. You get a chance to work with a lot of people, work abroad, and honestly speaking, MLH. I think a lot of people out here are aware of MLH because even Coders of Work was a part of a lot of MLH events. So the pattern that you see in MLH is quite similar in every other place as well. It's almost the same in most other places. So you can get a knack of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, Fox? Like those who are there watching this session, if you have, just put it on our comment section. Yeah, that's great. Like really, we have a great one. And to be honest, I personally love this session. Love this session. Okay, so you want to give any keynote to our viewers?
I think anyone who's in this session, if you're planning for an international internship or an Indian internship, try understanding the market dynamics first. That's very important. That's the first thing I mentioned on my board. That's like research. And that's a research that you should do as soon as you enroll yourself into an engineering college, because you have actually dragged yourself into a mess of thousands of people passing or lakhs of people going through the same procedure every year with there are a lot of jobs. People saying there are not jobs for engineers, there are a lot of jobs. There are vacancies coming up every time, but there are not people who are filling up those vacancies with those sets. So try figuring out what you like, try figuring out what the industry wants and demands. Make a roadmap for yourself. Like I made a roadmap for myself when like I entered my college in the month of August. I made a roadmap for myself by September, and that's since then I've never looked back. And every month since last year December, like 2020 December to 2021st December, every month I had an internship, paid or non-paid. I had an internship at my hand that I was working with, so I got to learn a lot from those. That's all I would say. And yes, be aware of scams. Again, I'm
Yeah,
repeating, be aware of scams. Don't don't let people uh, make put you into a fraudy system. There are also organizations or counseling sessions that you could opt for that tell you about international internships and opportunities. But it's also noted that those are all tuition fee paid internships. They are not zero tuition internships. So you also have to pay. They'll give you a stipend, but you also have to pay. So be aware of those things. That's all from my end.
yeah, cool. Yeah, they're asking for your resume, I guess.
Yes, I can do it, and probably after that we can end. But हाँ ये resume viral ना कर देना. This is not an amazing or stellar resume as such. This is all that I have worked on and all that I've done. I'll actually have to figure out where my resume is. I have a, I won't share my like I make different resumes for different internships. I have one common resume page from where I take stuff and put here and there. Like it has everything that I've done apart from my present internship. Like as soon as one internship ends, I try adding it. अच्छा अब मेरे को resume नहीं मिल रहा. Just a
निकाल.
second, and I'll try
Otherwise,
find figuring out one. Don't worry, just a second. Somewhere or the other, it should be there.
yeah, thank you so much. Uh,
It's been amazing to meet all of you here, to get to see so many of you out here. Okay, it's up. So do let me know if it's visible now.
you have not shared the screen. Yeah, no, no. I got it. Yeah. Is it visible
So
now?
not sure how much it's visible, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I always had a motto in mind. This is something that makes me distinct from other people. Try having a motto and a goal in life. Short bio is something that's not necessary. Skills and expertise in language and domains are two different things. So I tried putting both of them up. The references are very old references, so maybe you might not feel interested to go through it. Projects is something you love. There are a lot of free license and certifications that I've done. Probably CS50 by Harvard University is one of the best free courses online that you could do that can build your resume really well, because it shows about learning all by yourself. I did a lot of hackathons. Yes, for sure. I'm into a lot of ambassador programs. I don't do typical campus ambassador things. I get into ambassador programs where I can offer something to the community, because the community has given me a lot, so I love doing that. Open source programs, yes, I've typically contributed into few open source programs, but I do more of like I contribute to other open source softwares and repositories altogether. But officially, if I'm into a program, it's these. I do a lot of Google crowdsourcing, because I feel the ML community needs data. Here are a few of my web dev stuff. And yes, I'm someone who's a lot into product management. So I did not add my present internship as a software engineer out here, but because it's not over yet. So every time I end something, I add stuff. That's a bit of everything that I have for you. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you, Ankita, for showing your resume. A lot of people are asking for that. Oh, yeah, I hope like they have taken the screenshots and all.
Oh my gosh, that's something I never wanted. I'll actually ask you to edit that part, from your
Yeah.
YouTube video. I'll
Okay.
definitely request you to do so. There's no harm that going out. Uh,
Yeah.
Maybe I can get an HR call from it. Who knows?
Yeah.
I Yes, another thing. I did not share this with you. I did get offers from like 2 to 3 HRs online on LinkedIn. I never posted my resume online ever. It's the first time I've made it live before people. But just based on a LinkedIn profile, I have got interview calls that I've given. पास किया नहीं क्या दूर की बात है, but I got those calls and spots. So be
That's
prepared.
really
Anything
great.
can happen.
Yeah.
So be prepared for it. And I think you're already into good hands. You're into a good community who can help you develop, who are having sessions for you like this, who are catering your needs. So that's all I have to say. Thanks a lot for having me again.
Yeah, again, thank you, Ankita, for this amazing and phenomenal session. And like to be honest, I really enjoyed this session personally also because I was also very excited to host also and to watch watch you sharing experiences. Last time when we have our session, something went wrong in our network issues. So this time अच्छा से हो गया सब normally. Okay. So yeah, anything else anyone wants to ask? Otherwise, we will going to end up next 2 minutes. Yeah, I think you have cleared already all the questions. Yeah, so now we can end up this session. Yeah, again, thank you, Ankita. So I am ending up. Bye bye, everyone. So we will meet in our next session. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for having me here.
Keep learning
Bye.
and exploring.